What do you get when two of the best car makers collab to make an electric car? The Toyota BZ4X, or the Subaru Solterra, or the Lexus RZ450e are three different versions of the same car, and all three of them are not really worth it. The BZ4X was created as a collaboration between Toyota and Subaru to create an all-wheel drive electric car, with Toyota handling the battery engineering and Subaru handling the all-wheel drive and collision safety. Toyota has a pretty good history with batteries because they're used heavily in almost all of their cars, and they have some of the best mileage amongst every car on the market. This car introduces the new ETNGA, which stands for Toyota New Global Architecture, a platform which is designed specifically for electric cars and designed to give the car more space. I've been saying BZ4X now for like the entire video, and you're probably wondering, what does this even mean? BZ4X is divided into three parts: the BZ, the 4, and the X. BZ stands for Beyond Zero, which is Toyota's environmental initiative. The BZ4X is the first electric car in the BZ lineup. Other cars they have are their hydrogen car like the Mirai, the plug-in hybrid EVs, and their normal hybrid EVs. But I always find it a little funny that a car company is going after carbon neutrality. Like, I know they do a bunch of other things, but like Toyota's primarily a car company. The next thing is the 4, and the 4 means that it is the same size as a RAV4. I'm gonna be honest, nobody would have guessed this. Like, who would guess that that's what the 4 means in BZ4X? And the X just means it's a crossover, which is kind of used everywhere. Subaru is known for its amazing safety features, and each one of their models is considered one of the safest cars to drive in their respective car categories. And each version of this car is extremely safe. But that combination of safety and good battery engineering just ended up not making a car that would live up to people's standards. And the first thing people ask about an electric car is the range. The BZ4X comes in 4 different versions, the XLE and Limited both having a front-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive option. Now, 250 miles is like pretty good for all things considered, but in the end, it just acts like a car that can get you to do like smaller things like city driving or like a little bit of highway driving. Charging takes way longer than filling up gas, and finding chargers is already hard. But if you use this on the highway only, it's even less because it only gets 160 miles. And in the US, most commutes or any kind of travel requires the highway. The Solterra does only come in all-wheel drive, but it's really similar to the BZ4X with 227 on the Premium and 222 on the Limited and Touring editions. And in last place, getting 220 miles per charge with the 18-inch wheels and only 196 with the 20-inch wheels, it's the RZ450e. 196 is a range that early electric cars were getting in 2012 and 2013. Getting 200 miles back then was considered good. Now they do have another model called the RZ300e, which gets 266 miles on the 18-inch wheels, which is like a little better, but then it goes back down to 222 if you get the 20-inch wheels. The range is kind of disappointing, but something that's a little better than that is the exterior. Each version of this car looks almost exactly the same, which is fine. For an electric car, there's sharp edges and corners giving an aggressive and modern look, but it still looks kind of weird. The biggest issue I have with all these electric cars is the front. Every electric car looks so bald and flat, it's just so boring. And this is really visible on the RZ because of the center. The BZ4X not so much because of the dual tone paint, and the Solterra because it has these vents at the bottom and like a cutout around the center, but it's still really noticeable. And finally, the Rare, which actually looks pretty good. All three of these have like these bunny ear spoilers, and I've noticed like all these crossover EVs have been trying to like put these in, like the Volvo and the ZDX. To give it some credit though, it's trying not to look like an obvious electric car. Many cars have this like different design language with their electric cars though, like Chevrolet or BMW, and they make it really distinguishable that they're electric. And I can tell they're electric because they're very ugly. The next is the interior, which is honestly pretty well done on all three of these. At first glance, Toyota looks pretty good, but then you start to notice all the plastic. Unlike a lot of new cars though, this car has a lot of physical buttons. Honestly, it's not that exciting, but it's pretty important to realize, especially while driving, people shouldn't be using a giant tablet to adjust their AC or dehumidify the windshield. The Subaru is almost the exact same as the Toyota, so there's not really much to add here. The only difference is the interior branding and the software they have running is different, but other than that, it's like almost the exact same. The Lexus though, to nobody's surprise, is the best interior. Sometimes they do some weird shit though, like the weird mouse and trackpad. Then finally in 2020, or sometime not that long ago, they finally discovered the technology of touchscreens. I don't know what took them that long, but I mean, at least they did it. Another super important thing about an electric car is that it can be charged. There are 3 different levels when you charge an electric car, 1, 2, and 3. 1 is usually really slow. It's a charger that comes with the car. These chargers are super slow because they just plug into a regular outlet. 2 is the fast home charger, which is a bit faster, and a lot of people upgrade to this because it's convenient and you can charge your car overnight. It goes from 0 to 100 in about 9 to 10 hours. And 3 is DC charging. This is the one that people mostly talk about when they're comparing charging speeds. Level 3 charging can take you from a low battery level, which is about 10%, to 80% in about 35 minutes, which is pretty good. One of the best things about new cars is that they come with apps. And these cars come with them too, and they have really good ratings. These apps can help you find your car when you park it, start it remotely, lock and unlock it, and so much more. It seems too good to be true. And it is. The apps themselves are free, but the functionality isn't. It's a subscription service. You have to pay $15 to $25 per month for the BZ4X and the RZ450E, and $495 to $995 per month for the Solterra. Which honestly is kind of ridiculous. Like, you're not really getting anything that crazy or worth it with these subscriptions. All the subscriptions give you remote connect by default, and then you have to pick navigation, music, or both as your second choice. But if you have a phone and you connect it to your car, you already get maps plus whatever music you have and all the apps that are on your phone using CarPlay or Android Auto. Why are you paying for something that you already have? Why would you pay $15 a month for something that you can get by using a cable? I just don't think that these subscriptions make any sense. And finally, the best part about buying a car, paying for it. Starting with Toyota, there's 2 trims, the XLE and the Limited. Now, for all the issues and features that I said, these prices are ridiculously high. Asking this much for a car that gets 250 miles max is not worth it at all. Plus, the same company makes hybrid cars that can get almost triple the range. The Solterra has 3 trims, Premium, Limited, and Touring, and just like Toyota, it's not worth it for these prices, range, or issues. But Lexus? This one is embarrassing. Lexus comes in 2 trims, the Premium, which has 18-inch wheels, and the Luxury, which has 20-inch wheels. Premium starts at $60,000, and Luxury starts at $65,000. Imagine paying almost $66,000 to get 196 miles of range. In the end, the BZ4X or the Solterra or the RZ are not cars you should go after if you're looking for an electric car. Now, who is buying these cars? Because there are a good number of people that do buy these. People that can afford a companion car is what I like to call it. A companion car is like a car that you use for small tasks like getting around the city or visiting your friends or doing stuff that's like nearby. It's like what a bike would be used for, but it's a car. And there's this tiny percentage of people that even have the luxury of doing that. For getting into the EV market, it's an alright start. I mean, it needs to improve in every single area for it to even compete. While these cars don't have that many drawbacks, the few that it does are so huge, it puts it really far behind. So instead, get something that's worth your money. Like the Lexus yacht. Why the fuck are they selling a yacht?